This 3 Minutes for Governance video pertains to the difference between policy and operations. Good governance of an association involves elements of policy and operation. If done correctly, it can set the stage for better performance, financial stability, and member satisfaction and support. Before we examine policy and operations of the organizations, a couple of definitions are required. The board refers to the new BC Hockey Board of Directors. It is proposed to consist of a board chair and 8 directors, all of which are elected by the membership. Staff refers to the volunteers, unpaid staff, as well as the paid employees of BC Hockey that operate the work of the organization. The board and staff have very different roles towards the same goals. In BC Hockey's governance review, the organization is transitioning to a policy board, where the board has the huge responsibility of directing and guiding the organization. To do so limits their involvement in the management of the day-to-day operations or hands-on work with program components. In other words, they are no longer a management board or a working board. So, as a policy board, the board inherits the following: the ultimate responsibility to be accountable to members, establishing the rules, policy systems, and controls for the organization, establishing BC Hockey's image and ethical standards, creation of the BC Hockey Strategic Plan. Through policy, the board defines how employees and volunteers represent BC Hockey, and a role in the recruitment of personnel to serve on the board and standing committees. To do so, the board must have a vision for the organization to build the strategic plan and the goals they need to achieve, agree on the values the organization must live by and represent these values through high standards of ethical behavior, set new direction based on results, data, and analysis of trends both internally and externally, and engage the membership, committees, and other shareholders in meaningful discussion about BC Hockey. Staff, again referring to both volunteers and employees on the other hand, is responsible for the activities required to meet the strategic direction of the board. To do so, their role is to be accountable to the CEO, who is ultimately responsible to the board, to live by the values of BC Hockey set by the board, to define the role of paid and volunteer staff toward the strategic plan, to recruit staff for program committees, delivery groups, and task groups, to operate towards the goals of the strategic plan. By doing this, all staff represent the image and ethical standards established by the board, engage members in the delivery of programming opportunities that will meet the goals established by the board. Although responsible for different aspects of the organization, the board and staff may use similar processes. To further explain the difference between the two, here are examples. In example 1, both board and staff are involved in the orienting, developing, and recognizing personnel. The board handles this for board members and standing committees with the operational assistance of staff. Senior operational staff, on the other hand, orient, develop, and recognize program staff based on the policies developed by the board. In example 2, the board approves standing committee members, for example, the members of the Finance Committee. The staff, CEO, would approve operational positions like district coach coordinators or Team BC coaches, although the board may set selection policy and ratify the choice. The synergy between the board and staff is critical. They must be on the same team in order to engage the members, demonstrate the principles, behavior, and ethical standards of the organization, and to cooperatively work towards the strategic needs of BC Hockey. Finally, it probably goes without saying, but the system and strategic direction must ultimately support the athlete.